Now, almost 2 million people have been evacuated from their homes as Typhoon Bavi bears down on China's east, bringing destructive winds and heavy rain before reaching China. Bavi lashed Taiwan and Japan's remote islands, leaving tens of thousands of people there without power. Let's go to Taiwan and speak to Ting Liu, who's a news anchor at TVBS. Ting, thanks for your time. What impact was felt where you are?
Good morning. Thank you for having me back on the program. So, Taiwan's main island left Bavi's storm force wind radius at about 11 p.m. local time on Saturday. So, the latest post-minute update is that only the outskirts Matsu will actually remain under land warning, with remaining warnings expected to be lifted later on this morning. But we actually did see heavy rain, landslides, debris flows, and dangerous seas remain at residual risk. But we got to say that it's quite fortunate this time because at least 113 people have been injured, but there are no confirmed deaths, and around 14,000 people were evacuated, mainly from actually the mountainous and landslide-prone areas, and more than 234,000 households actually experienced power cuts. But we got to say that. It's an important distinction because actually Bavi did not make an actual landfall in Taiwan. So it actually just passed the part, northern part of Taiwan, but its enormous circulation still brought torrential rain, powerful winds, and widespread disruption. So the most serious concern has been the rainfall rather than the eye of the storm itself. So actually we see parts of Taiwan, especially in the northern parts, receiving more than 700 millimeters of rain. So authorities actually are still watching out for landslides, debris flows, and flooding, even as typhoon move away. But just to be on the safer side, Taiwan actually had a 2-day holiday starting from Friday and all the way to Saturday, just to prep people for typhoon.
Right, yes, as you say, it is an absolutely massive system. So a 2-day holiday, what preparations were people able to make as it approached?
Just before the typhoon approach, people actually prepare sandbags, also to tape up their windows, because the wind gust is usually pretty strong, because of the typhoon. And also, no doubt, I mean, there are actually economic implications on Taiwan, but safety is definitely more important in that case, And because I think not only the landfall is not only the measure of danger, forecasts actually indicated that the mountainous area of Taiwan could actually receive close to a meter of rain. So hundreds of international flights and all scheduled domestic flights were cancelled on Saturday. So the precautions are also probably one reason that there hasn't been a large loss of life. But we actually see that now Bavi have crossed the East China Sea and made a landfall near Taizhou in China's Zhejiang province late Saturday night, with sustained winds of about 144 kilometers per hour. So it's actually weakening as it moves inland, but its moisture still can continue to produce heavy fall. And as for those who actually pretty concerned about Taiwan's semiconductor industry. So there has been a major transport and infrastructure disruption, but at this stage, they have not seen any confirmation of a significant interruption to semiconductor production.
Right, okay. As you say, it's headed over to China. What reports are you hearing from there, Ting, about the destruction?
Actually, we did see that it has actually bring a lot of rain to China, and in China Taizhou there has actually been 2 million people being evacuated because actually we see that Bavi has actually pummeled Japan's southern Sakishima island chain and also affecting Taiwan. So, in Zhejiang, China, what we know, the state leader has just said that more than 1.75 million people has been evacuated, and not only in Taizhou but also neighboring provinces like Fujian and Beijing and Shanghai too.